And yay, so exciting. I'm excited for a lot of things. Very excited. So, yes, first off, this Saturday, ISA Academy. Very thrilled. It is 11 to 4, so that's Central Time, 11 to 4 Central Time. Who's hopping in to ISA Academy? Yeah, totally virtual, totally free. I feel like my accountant this year is going to be like, whoa, your expenses went way down this year. Like with all of the lack of travel and lack of events. It is amazing that we're able to, get trained and do all this stuff, and really world-class training from people who are giving their time to us for free to learn and to grow. And it, I feel like, applies to life and all types of businesses and mindsets, and very specifically to Isagenix. So I'm super excited for that. And then New Year's kickoff, just so you know, the dates moved up. It is virtual also, but it's January 8th and 9th. So early January. It's similar to Celebration, where it's like the Friday evening and then all day Saturday sort of thing. So plan on the 8th and 9th being really impactful. A lot just kicking off 2021. If you haven't been to a New Year's kickoff, it's really, it feels like, and I feel like after this year, it's like a fresh new year, a fresh new start, really setting intentions and goal planning and focus for the new year, which is exactly what we'll be doing, January 2021. And then again, Celebration, I would mark July 14th to 17th. For the summer, when you're making your summer plans for next summer, I realize most people are not, considering the state of things right now. But if you are thinking through things, really hold those dates. The minute we are able to be in person again on the other side of this pandemic is going to be very special. It's going to be very impactful. Mark my words. I feel very confident in saying it will be the sort of thing you will want to be at. So very, very excited for that. And then today, what I really wanted to spend the time talking about is I want us to go through a little bit of an exercise. And so I'm going to pull up leadersrisehere.com. I'm pretty sure everyone on this call, yes, is familiar with it, has spent time using the system. We will be forever tweaking, but also forever communicating the importance of using the system, because it's what duplicates it's what helps us show other people how to do it, onboard other people, launch new people, really get the word out there and help serve them so they can do the best they can in their business, right? Which the day that you really shift it towards how can I best serve them is a very special day and a very good way to be thinking about your network marketing business. So I'm going to hit share screen. Hopefully, yeah. I get nervous that if I do this, okay. I wonder if I'll see if people join the waiting room. Hopefully.
Can you make someone else an admin?
Yeah. Yeah. Here, Barbie, I'll make you the host. And then can you let me share the screen? I think you have to do that back.
Please and thank
Please
you,
and
Barbie.
thank you. Just because, yep.
You the buttons there. You should be able
No, but she has to let me share the screen. We did this last week.
How do I do it? I know.
Is it like down in the bottom right? Like allow participants to share their screen?
More. Share screen. Multiple participants can share their screen simultaneously? No. Participants.
And while they're working through that, I just wanted to throw in one thing there about, Alice, we talk a lot about the system and why we're using the system and pointing people to this. It's because if it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't really work for your long-term vision of creating residual income, because you always have to be a cog in that wheel. What we want to do is make it so anybody can jump in and feel like they have tracks to run on, and you're there alongside them, guiding them and pointing them to tools and helping them with some of those other skills. But what we're trying to do is make it, my goal is, and I think Allison's goal would be to make you independent of us as soon as possible. And the best way to do that is to be very consistent with the messaging and the steps that we put people through, so everybody always knows what they're getting when they come to Isagenix, specifically to Leaders Rise here. And it will always be something, like Allison said, that it will evolve and change. As we get things, we will continue to add things and we will tweak things. But it's something where I can't duplicate Allison and how she speaks about something. I can't do that. It's just not, as much as Lord knows I've tried. I can't be Allison, but what I can do is send them to a place that is literally a step-for-step map or track, however you want to call it, of what Allison does when she meets someone and how she brings someone in and how she introduces people to the comp plan, how she introduces people to their back office, how she talks to people about using social media if they choose to go that way, how she talks to people about building community. I can do that much easier than having to grab Allison every time that somebody has a question, right? Like, so it's really important. So it feels like we might be saying the same thing over and over and over again, but in this business, it is, the secret is it's not sexy. It is the same thing over and over and over and over again. But realizing that it's the first time you're telling this new person coming in, they don't realize that. And you want to be very consistent with your messaging in the way that you bring them along so that they feel like they have something that they can do with their person when they're deciding to share.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Are we?
Okay, I think
I can keep trying to.
I actually think. Wait, what was that? Yeah, no, Holly, totally. Yep, exactly what you guys are saying. They love how you talk. Adds up, and it's customized to them. There's no way it can be the same. Yes. Okay. So, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna still make you the host because I think Barbie. I think I got it now. I think anyone can share. Change host. Yes.
Yahtzee, everybody.
So you're the host and
Hey.
I can share.
Hey, thanks for coming on this journey with us, everyone.
Both.
There.
See, you don't need to be perfect at any of it, actually. None of it is perfect. Okay, so leadersrisehere.com. And so just so you all know, the 4 steps are right here. We've even tweaked the words, you know, we added in presenting. We changed this from plug people in to get paid and get your team paid, which is about plugging people in. And then down here, this is the newly added place to print it all. So some people like to have a printed copy of the 4-step system. You can print the Word doc or the PDF. I would say the PDF unless you want to tweak it. I put the Word doc there in case. And then the other 2 documents, which are in the 4-step system. So if you open the 4-step system, the initial consult and the new associate interview are really those 2 things that we're using. And every single one of you has been onboarded this way. I can think about conversations with, you know, Sammy and Kim, 2 of the most recent ones. I can think of, you know, Teresa, we've been doing this, Barbie, Holly, Eunice. I mean, we've been doing this stuff. So Emily, I know your video's not on, but I know you're there. We have been using this with people. So just know that this is exactly, we are doing it. We are practicing exactly what we teach. And so today what I really wanted to, so just know this is here and it's also embedded, you know, so you're going to generate interest, inviting and presenting. You present, you use the initial consult. Get paid and get your team paid is what I wanted to focus on today, because what I really want is for you guys to take this section, this new associate interview, and I want you to take it back and I want you to do it with the people that you have on your team that you're onboarding. And so just know that, as you know, steps 1 and 2 are pre-enrollment. They haven't enrolled yet. Step 3, now they've said yes. And you're going to get paid and get your team paid. And some are going to just be customers and we're going to love on them and we're going to focus on step 4 retention with them. But we're going to at least make sure that they see the comp plan, at least have the getting paid conversation with them, right? Because you're loving the products, right? Kim, you just told me your story recently, loving the products. And, you know, Jaleesa is like, well, if you're going to want to refer people to it because you love it. And I can show you how to enroll them on Isagenix and you can earn some money. Like we want to talk about it, because if they don't hear about this section, they're never going to do it. They're not going to do something they don't hear or know about. And so we want to be telling them. And, you know, so I like to say to people, and I literally do this, and I can picture conversations over coffee with people, you on the call, you other people not on the call, who still, by the way, are referring random people to me. I think of an Amy Dalton. You guys don't know her other than Barbie went to college with her. Maybe some of you do. She just had someone to get started, right? Because we had this exact conversation over coffee. And it's very easy to just make it systemized by saying, you know what, you're going to feel great on these products. And guess what? When you feel great, you have 3 options. People are going to ask you what you're doing. They might even notice you carrying your shaker cup around. Forward speak that to them, right? And at that point, you can either, one, you can refer them to me, and I will take good care of them just like I'm working with you. I love referrals. My business is built on referrals. I like to say, you know, I give gifts for referrals because I'll send them a gift card every single time. People pass me people, I'll send them a gift card every time. Whether you take a PIB or a portion of a PIB or whatever you want to do, you know, that's up to you, right? If they're doing something, giving you a referral. 2, I can show you how to start them on Isagenix, and you will earn some fun bonuses ranging from 25 to 200, depending on what they get started with. Or 3, think about that one bill that keeps you up at night. For some people, it's a credit card bill. For others, it's a car payment or a daycare bill. What is it for you? And then we pause, and in the silence, we hear the baby crying in the crib.
I will be right back.
That's our reality. Right? 1 Mississippi, 2, listen so hard that it hurts. That's part of this business. Let them talk. If a bill is coming up for you guys right now on the call, put it in the chat. I want to see what it is. What's that bill that's coming up for you that keeps you up at night? And I know you guys' bills, we've talked about them. Mine, you know, I mean, I wanted to replace my income, but I really wanted to make an amount that would allow me to leave my job, even if it meant less than my income. That's where I was at. I was at 20,000. Daycare. Oh my gosh, Barbie, your daycare expenses. Yes, were insane. Yeah. And Kim, you're totally right. Working in other entrepreneurs. Yes, it's, I said duplication. Exactly what you're saying is so true. When you work on your own, all the bills, holidays, holiday bill, credit card bill for puppies and vineyards, credit card bills. I know maybe weddings in the future, tuition. Yep. Cell phone, husband's student loans. Yeah. I had loans from business school. That was one of my first things. I can totally relate, covering your products, all of that. So good. I had this exact conversation with Holly. I remember it on the phone. Which one of these do you think might be you? And, you know, so then you just say, okay, when someone asks, which of these is you? Are you 1, 2, or 3? Which one? You know, and she said, I think I want to make money. Yeah, I think I am interested in this. And Amy Dalton at the time, she said number 2. I remember she said, yeah, I could see myself being the middle one, you know, in between. Okay, cool. Well, let's sit down and talk about it. I'll draw it out for you, right? And then sharing your conviction statement, the perfect spot to share. And, you know, so I love to say, gosh, yes, that daycare bill, that's got to be, you know, I can only imagine what that feels like. Or yeah, that credit card bill, I know what that feels like. I know what a new puppy feels like. Yeah, I can only imagine. So I know Isagenix is going to be the vehicle that gives my family more financial choices, and I'm excited to help others do the same. I know Isagenix is going to be the vehicle that allows me to blank, you know, whatever it is, free yourself from your day job. Cover all of my daycare expenses, pay off my student debt, pay off all of my debt, live debt free, cut down on my hours at work, free my husband from his second job that he hates where he leaves us at night, whatever it is. Okay. So this is, I mean, go through this. We have it all. We literally have it all. We have the 3-way call. We have the events. We have all of the things that we do that build this business right here. And then when you have someone ready to get started, so I want everyone on this call, my call to action is for you to do this with your mentor this week. This exact what we're going to do, but I'm going through what the next steps are because you will use this same thing then with your people, right? Duplication. So you do it with your mentor. Maybe if you've done it in the past month, you don't have to, but, it's such a good conversation, and I want you guys to write down. So I just clicked on the Word document. It opens. You can print it. You know, maybe you have a whole ton of people getting started, or you're running to executive, and you're like, well, I'm gonna need to do 10 of these at least. Print out 10, have a stack, put names, you know, at the top as you get people started. This is the best document I have seen, which really we've created from combining a bunch of different documents and questions, to have the person tell you what they are looking for. You know, often people will say to me, Allison, I don't know what they want. Or Allison, I don't know if they're like fully invested or they're fully into it. Or I don't know if they're like a business builder or product sharer. I don't know, like, if they'd go with me to the event, or I don't know what they need. I don't know what they need. I hear that a lot. I don't know what they need. Okay, so this is what I want you guys to go through. And I want you to write down your answers for yourself right now. We literally can spend the next, 5-10 minutes doing this. Okay, so you made the decision to start earning money with Isagenix. And by the way, this doesn't end just because you started. I still have, people fill this out, all the time.
On an annual basis.
On an annual basis, because things change. And commitment levels change. And, this exact conversation can literally be the starting point for you to know exactly how to match energy for energy with them. We talk about that, right? How do I match energy for energy? How do I know? Think of the person as like a tennis ball back and forth, So what is it about Isagenix that excites you most right now? I want you guys to write it down. What excites you most? Share it in the chat if you want to. Where the chat is going. What excites you most about Isagenix right now? Trying to pay everything off and save for a house. Oh, yep. My responses now are so different than time freedom. Community and friends. Yes, Holly, we had earlier this year, you said community and personal development. I literally hold your answers to my heart every single time I hear them. And I can just picture, and then I know exactly what it is that you're here for. And I don't wonder, and I don't have to guess. And it adds that personal relationship. Yeah, Sammy. And what I love about that is when your first call with Barbie and me, you're like, I really just want to work with health and wellness. And you have that in you, that passion and that purpose for health and what you've always loved it, right? Holistic health, all that. But I love to see how you're like residual income, like that, it's shifted or just added on to. That's amazing. And that's what you're leading with. And that's what you're going out there with, right? Holly, yes, personal development still tied for number one. Whatever finger, little bikini babe on my screen.
Yeah, I mean, what the person is looking for, and you can help make sure that they're getting what they need.
Yeah.
Like, it's that whole thing. If somebody's coming in looking for energy, you don't want to keep talking about, you don't want to come at them with weight loss or healthy aging. They don't care about that. You want to give people what they need. If Holly is looking for community and friends, like, I want to make sure that she's around the community when it's happening, when we can get together in person or the Zoom calls and all of those things. Like, if Sammy's into the residual income opportunity, like, let's talk dollars. Like, let's talk conversations, presentations, and dollars. That's what she wants. Let's get it to her.
And not leaving any money on the table.
100%.
On the way. Totally. Dollar bills. Helping myself and family live a healthier and easier lifestyle. Equally building a legacy for our family. Yeah, I love that.
100%.
Yep. Yeah, and that's consistent with what you said when we talked with Heidi the other day. Barbie, financial flexibility and options. Yes. And this shifts, and I remember, a story in the early days of Barbie, which she would tell you, I was talking so much about being at home with my kids, and that didn't really resonate with her. She was like, I don't want to be at home with my kids. That sounds terrible. No, hopefully they're not. They're in the room. Sorry.
She's got headphones. You're good.
Oh yeah, you have headphones on. But I was saying it so much, and it was an aha moment for me to say, Allison, less of saying it, more of asking her. She's living her dream life right now. The kids go to school and Paul is home and she is home. She wants her days with her husband. She wants him to have options to not go to the office. And so saying to her, drop my story, drop my conviction statement, sure. But Barbie, what about Isagenix excites you the most? Because that's what matters. My story does not matter. Her story matters in the scheme of the partnership and working with her, partnering with Isagenix, partnering with us, all of that, you know? How much money will be impactful in your life right now? What will this money do for you? And why is that important to you? Yeah, Paul is home every day. I will sob the day he goes back in the office. Yes,
Oh,
I know
God.
this about you.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm gonna have wine and chocolate ready for you and Allison to just
It's
figure it
great.
out.
Figure it out. I equally never want, yeah, you're learning to love it. Everyone's journey is so, and you know, this business, you know, earlier today, those of you that were on the Zach Slogan call, it was all about stories and how this business, it's not the products and it's not the comp plan that really are gonna set you free and create that momentum and get people to say yes to you. It's the stories. It's the stories. It's connecting people to a story that's going to resonate with them, and it's collecting the stories. You know, Zach said, I can tell Laura Stevens' story she's like, I know Laura Stevens' story as well as Laura Stevens does. He's like, I'm obsessed with understanding the stories of the people who are successful in our company. That's part of hopping on ISA Academy 2 this weekend. You know, it's listening to their stories. It's writing them down. It's saying, oh my gosh, you remind me of Ellen Bradley, or oh my gosh, you remind me of, you know, Lauren, I'm trying to remember who else is training this weekend, Lauren Sims or Audrey McLeod, or you remind me of Kelly Dickerhoof, or you remind me of, you know, whoever it is that you're following, Michael Klaus, Herb Cepeda, so many great stories from different walks of life, edifying and telling those stories. And so, you know, yeah, you guys are obsessed with your husbands. It's great. It's great.
For them.
No.
Just kidding.
No,
but
that's not
yeah,
true.
it's collecting stories. It's how many stories do you know, and when can you tell the right story at the right time to the right person?
Yeah.
Because everyone is the hero of their own story, and a lot of objections come from they don't think it, whatever the solution they're looking for, they don't think it will work for them, and they need a story that they can relate to. And the better story you can tell that relates to them and their story, that's going to determine your success level when you're interacting with that person. Just 100%.
Totally. Yeah. And so then on number 2, how much money will be impactful in your life right now? And I asked this off the bat, and it's funny because sometimes people pause and they're like, I don't know. Or they're like, whoa, did she really just ask me that? And you guys, it is so important to understand what someone is looking for. And if you are if it makes you nervous, if you haven't yet worked on your money mindset or haven't, you know, The Secrets in the Millionaire Mind is a great book to just get really comfortable with money. I had to do it. I grew up in a very frugal, lack mindset family. It's always a work in progress. That's totally good. But the concept, I'm totally cool now with the concept of like good people who make good money. Like they can do so much with it. And money is just an energy and a vehicle and a tool for us to create the life that we want to live. And I'm all about experience and living the heck out of this life and squeezing the juice out of life to live it to the fullest. And I know that costs money. And so I love to ask this because you can really understand then what we're talking. Because some people will tell you, you know, this girl in Hawaii just did a call and told her story on a training, and she could not believe when she made $600 in a month. That was so life-changing for her. And so really ask people, what will be impactful in your life right now? And use these exact words if you can. You can use these exact words. You know, because you want to get the right now. You want them to know that it can change. You want to say impactful, because it's an impact, you know, it's more than just, you know, what's gonna, you know, what do you want? Like, it's impactful. What will this money do for you, and why is it important to you? We want to drive into their why. We want to understand why, right? $20,000 would have been my first number had I been asked this question. And it would have allowed me to leave my job where I was making $100,000, but I wanted to be home with the kids. I did. And Jake could have worked in the school districts and we would have made it work. That's where I was at in my life. That was what I stayed up. That's what kept me up at night, got me up early, had me tossing and turning at night, watching my little 1-year-old in the window, Kennedy, waving goodbye. And I'd drive away to work with tears in my eyes because I hated it. I hated it. And that's the story, right? And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to creating the results to working and creating your results? Are you distracted and just interested? And I like to say 1, distracted and just interested, or 10, all in, no excuses, daily action. And just have them say, and then I say, why? Why did you choose that number? And no judgment, like truly no judgment. It just helps you know how to match energy for energy, right? And yeah, 60,000. Kim, we talked about this on the call. Allows you to be home. Yeah, your husband to be home more and not do snow removal every winter. I mean, that's huge. And then I said to you on the call, what would that do for you? Why is that important to you? You know, you're talking about having time as a family and him not being so stressed and hating it. And, you know, I mean, creating your legacy. And so it is, you know, let them tell you. People are usually either working away their debts or they're working towards their dreams. It's like usually either like they're getting, you know, working away their debts or towards their dreams. And you want to know what you're working with. And yeah, it's great. Yes, so good.
Well, everybody likes a good butt grab. I mean, if you're watching the chat, that's a standard. But and there's a reason that these are asked in this order.
Yeah.
Because and why you're getting to what will this do for you right now? It's not the money. It's the grabbing butts and having time at home with family, right? Like that's the real thing that's driving it. And then when they give you that number, like, yeah, I'm an 8. So when you're working with them, you know, you're going back to question number 2. Like, is this still driving you? Are you still an 8? Are you open to some coaching as you're moving along, you know, through these things? There's a reason why we want to go in this order as well.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And then the next one, what are some potential blocks and challenges that you anticipate getting in the way of creating results? I like to ask this. I like to, you know, this is where things come up, you know, oh, my husband isn't on board or my wife isn't on board, or I get really into the comparison mode on social media, or I can't put any extra money towards the business, or time or distractions, or I'm a starter and a stopper. I start and stop a lot of things, or my network has seen me try things. It's just a great open-ended, and then you can talk through it. And there are going to be roadblocks, and I don't want to paint this like super rosy where they're like, oh, this is utopia and I'm going to make exactly what I said on number 2, you know. No, like, what are the roadblocks? Like, this is real, and like, let's talk about them, you know. And then we can help anticipate. And then leading into the question from there, and this is very powerful to me, how can I best support you when it feels harder for you? How do you want me to support you when I don't hear from you? Give you space, call you, tough love, remind you of why you started. Any answer is great, but then guess what? When someone disappears and they told you permission for tough love or to call you, you're just doing your job. Then you don't have to feel weird being like, oh, should I call them? Yeah, they told you to. So then you just do it, and you're like, hey, Kim, you wanted me to call you. Like, what's going on? You're not showing up. Like, how can I help you? What do you need? Serving them. You're literally serving them based on their answer. So, and then the last one, in-person events are a cornerstone to success in this business. And, you know, literally conversations, 3-way calls, the system, and events, cornerstone. It's true. So you're putting that out there. And in the grand scheme of normal life, we would be talking about January, block your calendar, get your ticket. What do you need to do? Do you need to sell packs to pay for your trip? Do you have money set aside? Can you set aside a few cycles? Whatever you need to do to get there, because it's a cornerstone. That is, you know, just getting that on the table right away and saying, and then, you know, what is the next in-person event you are committed to attending? I totally get it's a weird question right now, but that's why we're talking about all the virtual events.
Yeah, throw the word virtual in there. An in-person event, in-person and virtual. Like, what is the next event you're committed to logging into?
Yeah.
There's one this Saturday. There's another one in January. What's the next one?
Mm-hmm. Good. That's the whole form, you guys. That's it. You will learn a lot by going through that with your new person. And then I like to say, you know, 3 commitments, 3 things that you are committed to: showing up on the team calls, every team call, getting to every event, meaning, you know, virtual, but, you know, every event. I say, you know, the typical core 4 events every year, and then be here a year from now. Like, are you committed? Are you committed to being here from now, getting on every team call, and getting to every event. I mean, that to me is staying plugged in, and that to me is continual education. I mean, we constantly need, you know, just a little something to drive our week. That's why we have this, to drive our week. That's why we have the quarter cornerstone, you know, the events to drive us, and then a year from now, you know. So, and then it's just a lot of back and forth. So for Teresa, to a new time frame. So I just set up a call for it. Yeah, you can stop the share. I just say, hey, I really want to go. The next step in the process is for us to go over this document. I'll send you a link to it. You can look it over. I don't, and I know others can speak to what they do, but I don't have them fill it out and email it to me. I literally do it as a conversation on Zoom. So I would just say, hey, let's set it up. I'll send you the doc. It's 6 questions, but it'll just be a good way for us to sit over wine and chat, whatever you want to say, you know, and just go over it. And it's also a really good way for them to feel really heard and listened to. People are not everywhere. People are not listening to each other. And it's such a good, like, connecting tool.
Yeah, because one thing about this that's different, this is not like a form that you'd fill out on a job interview and then you just send into HR and then they can, like, no, like, we're doing this together. And there's a lot you hear in with pauses when people are talking, and you can bring stuff out of them that they might not have known were there on a couple of those questions, especially those meteor like 2 through 4.
Yeah.
Like, really get down and have them be honest with you, and have a folder, have a, you know, manila folder or a pocket folder or whatever, and keep that with you. And then go back and look after that person's been here 2, 3, 4 years and you've done it 2, 3, 4 times, and see how those things change and watch how they grow. You'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Barbie, would you add anything that you've been
Yeah,
doing?
I was just gonna say, I actually have had people just fill it out, and I did mine on a Google form. So like, I basically took the exact same questions that Allison had and I put them on a Google form. This is not anything that you need to do, but I just found it easier because then people didn't have to print it out, fill it out. But I also did it as like a way to like check in with people, like to see who actually fills it out, right? Because again, I don't want to waste my time setting up calls to walk through it with them if they're not really going to be spending the time to, like, if their number is a 4, like, we don't need to be having this conversation, right? Like, I know I can support a 4, right? So I actually had people fill it out first, and then based on their responses, I had that one-on-one call. Hi, sweetheart. To walk through their answers. And that's what allowed me to dig a little bit deeper. So, I mean, I love Allison's, like, yes, set it up as a call, because I definitely think that there's more depth that you can get into through the conversations. But I also feel like having people, like, the first step to like fill it out first, and you kind of see who fills it out, you know? So I mean, that's another way of doing it too. So.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Especially as your teams start to grow and grow and grow, and you have, you know, 50, 100, 200, 300, 400 people, you're going to want to, like, that's a lot of 30-minute calls if people aren't going to be into it and filling it out. So a really good way to pre-qualify your time. I like that.
Yeah, totally. And coming out of I remember one event we came out with like 16 people we sent it to, saying, you know, it's the new year, and these weren't all new people, you know. It was like, it's the new year, we want to hear from, you know, and I sent it out, and I didn't get all 16 back. You know, I said, let's take a look at this doc, and then let's set up a time and we'll walk through the questions. And I heard back from like 10. Yes, it's a bunny. And so that can help too, you know, as you kind of go. But yeah.
Also, another thing that I would say with that is when Allison did that, I remember this exactly it, because that was after the New Year's kickoff. That lit my fire. And what Allison also did is she said she's going to grab 5 people. And I remember thinking to myself, I better freaking be one of those 5 people, right? So like, also, if you let your team know that, like, I'm not just going to run with everybody. I'm going to run with people based on their number of their responses, you know, because I want to collect people who are really going to do this together, right? So I think that that's another thing too, is like, not create that FOMO, because you don't want to tell that necessarily to everybody, but there is a thing about like, I want to fill this out because if she's putting together a group that's going to run together, now is my time. I want to be included in that, you know?
Yeah. And that's timing for people too. And it's, I mean, Kathy Cooper says you can really only intimately work with about 5 at a time. to really help them run, like, okay, it's go time. She says, grab your 5. And then they go, and then you have them grab their 5, and then they go, and then and that's how duplication happens, and the compound effect and the numbers that you see, the astronomical, effect of that. So yeah, it was, and totally worked.
You're still always there for your whole team when they need you, but
always.
You have your 5 that you are like tight. Like, you know what kind of conditioner they use every day and what days they're deciding to wash their hair. Like, you're on it with them. You guys are in sync and you're going. But you can really only do that with 5.
It's good.
Your mentees might even sync.
I wasn't going to go there. I was here, but I didn't want to go there with it.
Crap, we're still recording. Sorry.
I don't even get it. I feel like it's over my head.
I'll explain it to you later. When you get older, I'll explain it to you.
Anyways, yes, Kim, when people in our downline meet new ranks, do we celebrate them in any way? It's a great question. And it is, in part is up to you how you want to do it. So the company sends a gift with each there's a thing out there to show. For sure, we blast it all over social media. So when you have someone rank advance, and when you do, like Heidi will create a flyer and she'll put it on social media and we'll share it to our social channels, and so there's all that excitement. And then I do gifts, like I'll give a book for consultant, definitely a card, for manager, different executive. I for sure have like a necklace, there's different things. So it's kind of up to you, like how you want to do it. Is that kind of what you're asking? Yeah. And so gifts, and then we also will do like recognition at like our events in person. We'll do recognition for the year, different things like that for sure. So recognition is huge, and it's a part of retention, and it's one of my favorite things, because none of it goes unnoticed to us and to the company. So but you can kind of think through, gosh, I have my, like when they do this, I want to recognize them with this or that. Or you can be sporadic, you don't have to have a system to it, but you can. The company does. You get like Tiffany earrings when you hit executive from the company.
We also sometimes will do recognition too for, Sam's like, hey, bling. Sometimes we'll do recognition for our customers who have been with us for a while. Like even just a nice handwritten note, especially around as holiday season is coming up. Like, we like to add a lot of those people to our Christmas card list. Like, they might not have even opened their mouth that they're ever using the products ever in like the last year or 2 years or 3 years. But just a thank you for like continuing to like trust us and be a part of what we're building. Yeah. Like, those kind of things.
Yeah, we sent them cash this last year. We sent them actual cash.
It was an expensive Christmas.
Just customers who don't share.
Yeah, like, just the people who've been with us for
just
1,
a little,
2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah, would cover
like
a thing of coffee or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
And when we can do in-person big events, we do stuff for anybody who shows up on the team.
Any questions? I for sure think this document can really help when it comes to, working with people and how to work with them and duplicating that down. Okay, that's what we have for this week, you guys. Have a good night. Let us know if anything comes up.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.